about it because we didn't hear it, so don't worry.
Okay, well, all right. My color is leveling off then now. Here we go. Oh, hey, we're back. Sorry, I had to cough. Okay, welcome back. This is second hour of Against the Wall here at the Orion Talk Radio Network. I'm your host, JJink. I'd like to say good morning to all my friends out there at dprogram.net. That's the letter D, program.net. These guys are awesome. They're all good friends of mine. Head on over to dprogram, the letter D, program.net. Check out their IRC chat room and tell them JJ sent you. Also, oftheharvest.com, handmade, handcrafted bags, hats, gloves. She made me just awesome, trigger finger gloves and a crocheted. It's my favorite hat. Anyways, handmade organic candies. That's oftheharvest.net or oftheharvest.com. Pardon me. On the show here for the second hour, I have Dr. Carpenter. Dr. Carpenter with her friend. Now, who am I referring to you, RS? Is it Randy or is this Dog Boy?
Randy. No,
Randy.
Okay, I got Randy, and I also have Barbara Hartwell with me, and we're going to discuss the raid on LazyMed Inc.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you guys fill us in? At some point yesterday, the doors.
1 p.m.
Okay, I'll mute myself, and I just want to hear the story right from the so-called horse's mouth, not the real horse.
We had a patient scheduled to come in, and this particular patient supposedly was coming accompanied by her nephew, and scheduled to come, and then rescheduled a few times, and finally was supposed to come in yesterday. And instead, the time was 1 p.m., and instead was FDA and some policemen, a total of 8 guys, came into our office. And I was in the treatment room. I didn't hear it, but they talked to Wendy up front, and they said they were FDA. I did not know that. And they came in and said that they were there to see things, examine things. And I said, well, you better do it fast because I had a patient coming in at 1. And a guy said, there is no patient coming. We are it. Well, he said, what do you mean there is no patient coming? No,
Yeah, entrapment.
Right, this is it. We are just one. He said that. I said, you lied? And he said, we did that because you're not always here. We want to make sure you were here.
And you know what, Dr. Carpenter? I so hope when you beat them in court, you also sue them for breaking an appointment. You can't. If you go to the doctor and you cancel a half an hour before the appointment, you get charged for it. I hope you add that to your lawsuit.
That's true.
Yeah, but how do I? I don't even have an attorney. That's one of the reasons.
I was being sort of facetious, dear.
Yeah, but I understand. But I don't know what they're going to do. But the reason is they started looking around, asking me questions. And basically what they did, they took all our files. They took downloaded all the memories from all the computers, took the flash drive, everything. And they took the computers. Not the computers. They took the lasers. Okay? So
they took the money out of your safe?
Yes. The money out of the safe. And I said, how can you do that? It's my money. Oh, because you obtained this money from this treatment, so we can take it. No, you can't do that. Oh, yes, we can. Okay, let's just to be sure everybody understands, LASIK treatment is a non-invasive way to cure cancers, and they don't want that. They don't want you doing that. And there's no drugs used at all. It doesn't use any drugs. And they were trying to push by saying, well, how powerful this laser. This is a cool laser. It's really low power. Just a low milliwatt. And he said, what is that? They didn't know what milliwatts were. And these are the people that are examining my situation and interrogating me, and they don't even know what they're talking about. And then, what you're using is a drug. I'm not using a drug. I'm using a stain that changes the color of the cancer so it will absorb, and the cancer only, because it's water-based and it will not be retained by healthy tissue. It's just retained for a while by the cancer. And it just absorbs the laser light, so that produces low heat, but enough to kill the cells. How can that? Oh, that is a drug because you're using it for cancer. It doesn't make a chemical reaction. It's only a physical reaction. It's not a drug. Oh, where did you read that is written that is a chemical reaction? A drug causes a chemical reaction. That's why it's defined as drugs. And they were just arguing about nonsense, okay? About, it's obvious that my treatment doesn't work because I don't have a long list of patients outside waiting to come in. Well, aside from the fact that I do it on appointment only, the reason why the traffic has been drastically reduced.
Cause all the litigation against you.
All the garbage.
All the lies.
Yeah, on the web. All the garbage they have spread. That's why.
Well, that's the beauty. That's why I'm glad that you and Barb have been able to touch bases.
Yeah, that really. And that was another thing that really infuriated them. What infuriated them to get this last step was because...
YouTube.
Yes, the YouTube video where I explain what happened and I show proof of their abuses, and that's what bothers them. And one of the agents was saying, well, you have so many videos there, you're short of a movie star.
Yeah, like they knew everything before they even...
Yes.
What was it you told me this morning that you in conversation with one of them, you said, well, I've been here in town, I've been here in Oklahoma for 3 years. It's 3.5. They corrected her.
Yeah, they knew everything. And then I said, what are you doing here? I'm a cleaner of the whistle. I don't even have a speeding ticket. And the guy said, we know that. Oh, great. So you know that there is nothing to attack me with. And then they started attacking us because we still have unused prescription pad of the last doctor we had here. So did you use them? How do I use them? I couldn't get the doctor's signature, so how the heck did I use them? And the claim was, well, we are going to talk to patient, and we found out that you send them prescriptionally. I didn't know. What the heck is this? Trying to find something to hang me for. And there was nothing. And then they were, I said, you can't take the lasers. Oh, yes, we can, blah, blah, blah. Hey, they're really delicate. You cannot handle it. And they have to be kept at cool temperature. You cannot bring them. So who knows what they're going to do out of them. But taking the money and taking all the files and we had a board with all the supplements that patient might use for different reasons. They took all of those. Unbelievable.
And they're going to break them before you get them back because they will not treat them delicately.
No, they won't. I'm not going to get him back. I know that. I won't get back anything. I asked him, so how long are you going to take it? Oh, we don't know how long, but it's going to be a long time.
Well, the cancer hospital, I was just going to say, the cancer hospital in Arkansas has been trying to get their hands on them for close to 30 years. And and this is all connected. It is. The federal judge in Arkansas probably made a phone call.
Now, what did they show as the reason on the warrant, the probable cause? What was the raid based on? What evidence were they gathering?
They were taking everything based on complaints they received. Yeah. And I said, 3 people, and you do all of this for the complaint of 3 people? What about the other ones, my other patient? Well, we're just gathering evidence, so we'll check with the other patient. Yeah, right. And you take everything before you check?
They've had an agenda for 2 years, and what they want to do is get their hands on everything so that they can find something to make it happen.
Yeah.
Well, right.
Yeah, so they want to make sure you don't get to care.
They want to make sure I become homeless.
Long and short.
Not just I cannot make a living, and from what I understand from a lawyer husband of one of my patients, they cannot take away what you make a living with. But they did.
Well, they can take it away until you prove that they can't. See, that's these dirty SOBs. They know they can't do it, but they will do it and then wait for a judge to tell them you're not allowed to do that, so give it all back, and then you'll get your broken equipment back. Not so much as I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. You might go to court and the judge might say you can't do that, but they don't care. They'll do whatever they want and wait because there is no penalty for them. They're not going to be. There's no penalty for them.
Look what they got away with.
They'll just have to give you your stuff back. Oops. Okay.
Yeah. Look what they got away with in Arkansas.
Ruined you.
Murder. They got away with taking all the witnesses and making them giving an excuse for each one. Oh, we can't let the jury hear this. We can't let the jury hear that. You had witnesses. They wouldn't hear them. They wouldn't allow them.
And this guy is saying, oh, yeah, we're going to talk to them. We're going to go and see them in person. Fine. That'll be great. I told him, that'll be great because then all those jerks on the web will stop saying, oh, have you seen them? Have you met them? They don't exist.
I think a break is coming in.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Stay tuned for more of the most professional show in radio. This is Against the Wall, the Orion Talk Radio Network.
Yeah, I don't know. They might be able to. I don't know. I don't see how they can seize donation. They are not obtaining it through the treatment. So that was their excuse. They could take the money because that was obtained through the treatment, and it's not the treatment. Okay, if you're investigating, how can you decide that they should take the money because it's not a valid treatment? If they're still investigating. See? All they're trying to do is stop me from doing my job. That's what they're trying to do.
They're ruining you.
Yes, and that was intentional. Just that they didn't succeed in winning me with that.
They don't care if in 2 years after all the litigation is done, you beat everything and they look like idiots because they didn't. They did what their job was to do, which is ruin you because the FDA is completely bought and paid for.
By drug companies. It is. The AMA and the drug companies. And this is the reason. I don't use drugs. The people don't need drugs. After this treatment, they are fine, and there is no need for chemo. And that's why they are trying to close me down. And that was the plan, to close me down, because I cannot save lives. I cannot save the people with breast and skin cancer from torture. I'm not allowed.
All right. We are back live.
Okay.
I didn't hear the bumpers, but I don't hear any more commercials. So we're live. Welcome back. This is Against the Wall. We're talking to Dr. Carpenter of Blaze Med Inc. And you know, she was rated. I mean, if you know Dr. Carpenter, you'll know that behind the scenes there's a few people that have it out for her. Well, actually, you know, from what it sounds like, there's a local hospital looking to get their hands on her lasers. But on top of that, it's big pharma. It's the cancer treatment. That's what they're trying to do, is make sure. I mean, it's easy with cannabis. They can just say, yeah, that's illegal, and then you can't eat. But you have a completely legal, completely valid. You have testimony from people who have
and they are
been helped.
Right, and they're trying to ignore the people that have been helped. And one of the things they said, oh, you have testimonial on the website. Can we get talk to some of these people? Well, you know, some people will talk to you, not all of them, though. But, yeah, I can give you some names.
All right, sorry. Here's the deal, Dr. Carpenter. You guys are going to – they took your rent money. They took your equipment. They took your practice from you. So here's what I'll do is for right now, until you guys have – a donate button or something that, and you know, if anybody were to want to donate to them, you have an address that they could send, or can we just send them over to your website and find the contact information there?
Yeah, there is. There is our email, but the button should be up today, shouldn't it, Randy?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have the button up later today.
I'll stick by the end of today or by tomorrow. I'll put your button on my website too, so I can just direct people there.
And we're also sorry, man. We're also gonna put a button to the petition. We've had a petition at change.org for about a month.
I think I was either number 1 or number 2.
Yeah, you're on there for sure. And we're going to go in and sort of change the wording of the petition because it's the same thing. What the petition started as was a writ of execution that they came out the day after Dr. Carpenter's Truth Rises to the Top video was made. Okay, you trace the dates of when the video was uploaded and look at the date on the writ of execution. It was the day after, wasn't it, Dr. C?
Yeah.
Yeah, the very next day. the courts, because like I said, they follow, they watch, they look and listen to everything. This video series shows papers from the court case. It shows fraudulent statements of the judge. Shows a lot of things, including medical evidence that these people were lying in court. They just flipped, pushed them over the edge, and that's when they decided, okay, we're going to shut this woman up. And that's when the writ of execution was filed. And what that was a document they came and served on her by a federal marshal, just showing up. I got papers here, need to read this and sign whatever. That said that gives them the right to seize anything in the office. It basically is their property.
And our money, our bank account and everything. But I answered, I explained it to the marshal, and then I wrote to the court and I said, oh, this is illegal. Because first of all, the office you came to is not the Lays Made Inc. in the lawsuit. It's a different corporation. It's a Nevada corporation, the one in the lawsuit. The Arkansas and the Nevada corporation in the lawsuit. This one here where you came, it's an Oklahoma corporation, totally disconnected from everything else. So you cannot seize what's there. And
you know what gets me, Dr. Carpenter, is so many people, you get there's some people that just can't be helped. But no, you get a couple of people that like, I understand the story about that, and you have a couple of people that you couldn't help, but you look at the cancer industry and millions of people die, They're
out of treatment, from the treatment, not the cancer.
But not a word about that. You can't litigate them. They're free. They're immune from from litigation.
Yeah, and how is that working? Oh, because that's a standard treatment. That is.
Now, do you guys? Now, let me just and then I'll mute myself. Do you own the method?
Yes.
LASIK. Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially, if they get rid of you, then there can't be another Lays Med Inc. that pops up somewhere else to help people.
But now there
is no other solution. It won't be there. Blueberries, that'll be their solution. Well, try blueberries.
Well, there's already copycat programs. There's already copycat programs all over the world.
Research leading to nothing. And one of the things they said was, well, you didn't do the clinical trial. And I said, hello.
The FDA waits 6 and 7 years. Will approve a drug and wait 6 or 7 years to get the final clinical trials, if they ever get them on some of these drugs, like Vioxx. Vioxx killed more people than Vietnam in America. More people died from Vioxx than Vietnam. It was approved by the FDA. They never even got the final clinical research done on it.
And they were still selling it. But there is a drug, a cancer drug, a breast cancer drug, Avastin. They use it for other type of cancer too. That killed people for 14 years. And then FDA was putting warning in the label, but that's all it was. And the doctors were seeing those, nobody else. And then Europe dropped it. They were not allowing it anymore. Canada did. So what happened? Finally, FDA recalled the approval. And what happened? Doctors are still using it because they say, oh, the patient needs this. Are they arresting the doctors because they're using something that is no longer approved by FDA? No, but they raid me.
Yeah, because your method works.
Right, that's what it is. It works, and people, there are plenty of success stories. Oh, but these people die. Yes. Why did they die? Because after my treatment, they were convinced by somebody that they were not okay. The tumor was still there. Never mind that he was dead. They did the wrong testing and say, oh, he's still alive. And they gave him chemo radiation, and the patient died.
From the chemo?
They died because of me.
Yeah. Anybody that's ever come to you, no matter what happens to them afterwards, died because they came to your office.
And how come the ones that didn't do anything else, they didn't go for standard treatment, they didn't do anything else, they didn't even see an oncologist? How come those are alive and well? And of course, everybody knows that. And then they were trying to go with the old story of I prey on the desperate because people come to me that are advanced cases. Yes.
What the hell do they do? What the hell do they do?
Of course they're desperate
pink ribbons
when they come to you.
Yeah.
Of course they are. There is no hope in the medical industry. Of freaking course they're desperate when they finally come to you, when they hear about you. Because there is no hope at the hospital. There is no hope at Merck, at Pfizer, with the pink freaking stinking ribbons and the walking and the talking and the billions of dollars that they steal. There's no hope
cancer
there.
rates have done nothing but go up since all of
billions
these
of dollars.
foundations have come out and we're working for a cure, but we need more millions. Bullshit. They've done nothing but escalate since all of this.
Yeah, they're working for the cure to their empty pockets.
Right. And you know what? They are paying for what causes cancer because they're paying and pushing early detection mammograms. And mammograms has been proven that causes the breast cancer.
Yes.
So,
free speech guaranteed. You're listening to the Orion Talk Radio Network.
Oh, we're back. I'm sorry. I just drank a cup of coffee down the wrong tube. Holy smolies, Dr. Carpenter. I'm sorry. Okay, Barb, did you wanted to add something before we go any further, didn't you?
I did. Actually, you know, when Dr. Carpenter contacted me, she had heard me on your show, and I was talking about these counterintelligence operations, how they try to neutralize a person. And since I've been, you know, on the show about 7 or 8 times now with Dr. Carpenter, I've looked this case up and down, and I've seen the same pattern that operates in one case after another after another. They hire a bunch of minions. These people are just liars, like Michelle Wolvin. And one of the shows that we did, I actually exposed on the show that she had filed false charges of assault on several different occasions outside these clinics that she was protesting. And then they got her into court. On the witness stand, she admitted, no, it never happened. So she's a liar. She admitted to being a liar on the witness stand. And these are the people that are going after Dr. Carpenter and putting out all this false information.
Yep, this woman's got 25 years of experience, only just working for a different cause, but still, you know, grassroots organizing, things like that.
She's a professional troll. I've been following, actually, ever since she grabbed the wrong bull by the wrong part of the horn. I've been paying attention, and Barb.
Yeah.
Has brought up some pretty good points. She has a past of being an aggressive stalker type.
Well, exactly, James, exactly. The whole point is this woman has been at this for years. She's a freak. She's a psycho stalker freak.
And that's who these complaints are based on, is her.
Yeah, and right.
What country do we live in? Well, I've known this for many years, but how many people know? What kind of a country do we live in when this is the kind of person, this demon, Michelle Wolvin, who's a liar, making false assault charges, and now they're going after Dr. Carpenter based on this web of lies?
Yeah, and this woman, to the masses, see, this woman has something else that credits her reputation. The fact that her cause that she was involved with for over 20 years was the abortion protests. And that gets a lot of people fired up. It's one of the most divisive issues in our society now, and they're using it in politics to divide us up further.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, that's going on.
She's full of hate. This chick isn't.
I mean,
but she's being paid to do that, and somebody made the mention that she only has one tone level on her voice, and that's loud.
Screaming.
But these are the people that got Dr. George Tiller, you know, shot point blank in church. Yeah, that's kind of rhetoric that she's a professional. Not saying that it was her directly involved.
No, but it's that kind of hate.
Yes.
But it's the time, it's the group, her group that inside this thing, and then they wait for some nutcases to do their dirty work.
Exactly. It's a mob scene. It's mob.
And she tried to do that with us by saying, oh, people in Oklahoma, go there, and, you know, she's killing people. Jeez, I am saving their lives. The establishment is killing people, and the records are all out there. As I said, there are drugs where people have been killed, hundreds of thousands of people have been killed for 14 years by Avastin, and then it took him 14 years to recall it. And now doctors are still using it, and they're not getting arrested, even though it's no longer approved by FDA. And then they come after me for using a color.
A dye?
Yeah, to change the color of cancer.
What's a drug?
It's a drug. No,
it's a color-changing drug.
Yeah. It's not a drug. It changes the color of only the cancer.
Dye. I've had dye shot into my shoulder, into my knee.
Yeah.
Anybody who's had a GI has heavy,
radioactive dye.
Yeah.
That's another story, okay? But this is nothing. It's herbal. And it's only there to change the color of the tumor so the tumor will absorb the light.
So
and
you
that.
see it also, right?
Yeah.
It allows you to see its border.
No, I don't have to see it. The light will find it.
Oh, okay.
The beauty of it. I don't even have to see it. All I have to do is find a corner of the tumor that I can feel, that gets injected, and that's it.
Oh, right. And then it by virtue of the dye itself absorbs the light where it needs.
I don't even have to see. All I have to do is do the clean margin, and only they remove the clean margin. I don't. I go over with the laser, the clean margin, so everything gets killed. And I said, how can you know what the temperature was? Well, experiments have been done before to get what the temperature is and the time it takes to reach that temperature and the time exposure. And those are research that have done it for other type of treatment, like frequency ablation, the temperature needed, the time exposure, and how long it takes to kill the tissue. So it's not even something that I had to do. It was already done. Only I was doing it a different way. But that's it. And then what I do an ultrasound before they leave. It shows no blood flow inside the tumor, which means no blood flow means no life. And that's all there is to it.
And the inappropriate testing that the medical establishment will do following up somebody that's had the laser treatment, all of the details of this is how they, as far as how you do the inappropriate testing so that they can turn around and say that it's something that it's not. All of that stuff is detailed in the Truth Rises to the Top video set. There's about 5 videos. They're all connected. They're on the YouTube channel.
And of course,
they haven't taken them down yet, Randy?
Well, no, they did. We had to re-edit parts 1 and 2 about 5 times each because of the names that we would mention, and God bless, you name it. Trying to show a picture of Michelle Wolven's face, Yeah, they've.
And a picture that we got from a third party.
Right.
It's not a picture, and it's not her picture. It's another person who gave us permission to use it. So, any excuse. But now we eliminated all the possible excuses they had. So the videos are up, and what they can do, they have to do something. They can steal the money with the writ of execution. They had to find another way. And the thing is, get that laser. See, that's what you.
I don't get how they seized your lasers and took the money out of your safe.
I don't.
But that brings me back to, because I tend to do that. I talk in tangents. But the petition that we talked about, that was the petition was made in reference to the writ of execution. Well, now we're going to go take the petition and change the wording slightly, because it's the same issue, only now they're not serving papers to try to get the rights to take everything. They've already frickin' taken it, okay?
Yeah, they use FDA excuse and they've taken it. Well, last year, Mike Adams, and I guarantee you he's not going to talk about this, but he talked about how the organic farmers and the organic milk farmers, they were raided by FDA, and some were Amish, and FDA went in with guns.
Yeah, with machine guns and.
Yeah, to raid Amish.
Right. Come on.
Right.
If they weren't so dangerous, honey, that it would be comical.
I know. It is ridiculous. And they took their cattle. They took their way
they're
of
living right now, and even if they have to give it back at some point, they don't care. They've already done it. The damage is done. They don't care.
Yeah. And that's what they're doing with me, and I already know. They said, well, it's going to be a long time. We want to make sure you cannot treat anybody, and you're dead before we give it back. If we give it back, and by then we'll be broken anyway. And then I'll guarantee you that the medical school, some medical school, probably the one in Little Rock, will come up. Oh, we had a breakthrough. Now we got the right equipment. I guarantee you.
Yeah, but it'll be real expensive. No, they won't. They're not going to cure it. You will never get your cancer cured at the hospital. They just want to treat you until they let you slowly, with morphine,
Yeah, because
die.
comparable. See, but what
UAMS in Little Rock has already made millions on a research grant that they basically got from Dr. Carpenter from sneaking as much, piecewise information out of her as they could to sort of halfway replicate it.
Well, they really didn't get much from me. It was Mr. Barracuda that gave him information. Yeah. But anyway, that's another.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
But I just don't understand how in a country like United States that is allowed. Because FDA, I am not an illegal drug dealer, and that's what they treated me as. You seize the money of
right.
illegal drug dealer, not somebody that is a professional.
And somewhere down the road, you'll be able to prove that it's yours, and they'll give it back to you. But it's after you've lost your house, after you've lost your office.
Yeah. By then, it won't happen.
Right.
How much
Dr. C, we've got one more segment, and we'll get to we'll get out as much information as we can. We'll get the websites out so people can help donate, try to keep you afloat until you do get your money back. Until you do, I mean, it's just horrible. Because stay tuned, guys. There's more. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Against the Wall. I am the host, JJink, James Freeland, and I hate to have to do the show like this today because, Dr. C, you're such a sweetheart, and I love talking to you, and I love your show, and I could listen to your cute little accent for hours.
She's not a sweetheart when you get on her bad side, but
well, you know what? I endeavor not to. Trust me.
Okay, listen. One thing I wanted to point out to see these people knew that they were guilty. One of the guys was saying something. It was at the laptop saying something, and I don't remember based on some of my questions because I kept asking questions. What is behind this? What are you doing? Oh, we can do it because the federal judge said that. But anyway, I was closely over to the guy, looking straight in the eye because I wanted to see what he had to say and look at his eyes. And he did not like that. And he said, step away and don't look at me straight. Excuse me? What is that? And he said,
oh, that's the whole compliance
and don't look
thing.
back in the eye. And I said, why? It's guilt. It's a guilt.
That's a very telling statement that he made. Don't look straight at me. It tells you that he's not straight.
Well, yeah, and it tells you that he's just there to intimidate you. That's the direct order. This is a direct order. Don't look at me. Sit down.
Right. Well, I had 8 guys.
If you would have flinched, they would have tased you, dear.
Yeah.
They don't care. They'll tase a pregnant woman on the side of the highway in front of her children.
Yeah, but you cannot hit the policeman because they arrest you.
Oh, of course not. I'm just saying.
This was not a policeman, though. That was FDA. The police was not intimidating at all.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, they were not bothering me at all.
Stared at him until you were drooling then.
Well, and then this guy that had taken out the hard drive on one of the computers and was trying to put it back, I saw him finagling, not knowing how it would go in. And I said, so you don't know how to put it back? And he got furious, and he said, shut up. And I turned around and said, you shut up.
You
came to ransack my place. Yeah. So I was not intimidated at all because I didn't do anything wrong, and I actually helped people. And they were doing something wrong. They cannot do what they did. And they were trying to convince me that they could, but they couldn't. They just did it.
Again, it doesn't matter if you beat them in court. It doesn't matter if they have to drop all the charges and give you all your stuff back. The damage is already done. But we don't have to. You know what? We're better and bigger. We're going to go. You're just going to move forward. It's going to be tough for you. God, it just breaks my heart. But before we lose the end of the segment, the end of the show, let's give out your websites. I want people to be able to either pitch in or donate or at least spread the message. We got to get it out there. If we don't help each other, man, that's it. We already know they won't help us. And if we won't even help each other, I mean, then
Go to LaysMed, www.laysmedinc.com. Yeah, that's my voice in the radio commercial. LASEMEDINC.com or medicalconspiracy, all run together.com. We'll have the appropriate info up there later today. And there's contact info on both websites as well for Dr. Carpenter.
Mine is Dr. Dr. Carpenter at laysmedinc.com. It's also, I don't know if you're still there, it's also Astrid, ASTRYD at lesmedin.com. But Dr. Carpenter is fine. And just as, if you want to send a message. But later today, we'll have the button connected with the PayPal and some information, and that way. And anything you can donate, we need. They took all the money. We don't have any money for anything. Nothing. And then I really need, if somebody that's a respectable lawyer, and I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but some of the civil rights lawyers are different. They stand for different things. So I need one of those to help me, and it has to be counted, take them for a ride and take them for everything, because they ruined me for a long
lawyer.
This is an opportunity for an attorney to make a name for himself.
And, this is standing for the people, because it's not only my right being violated, it's the right of everybody in this country.
Yeah, due process, probable cause, all those things are in jeopardy.
And the right to choose your own treatment for whatever you want, not what they try to force down your throat.
Right, and that's what's hot right now, the Obamacare issue. I call it Opharmacare, because the whole thing was drawn up by Big Pharma to basically...
Well, not only that, but they had to hire 100,000 new IRS agents. This is a giant IRS takeover.
It's an enforcement operation, and it's like a blackmail, bribery, enforcement, and extortion.
And the end result, guys, is going to be clinical health care. You're not going to... I don't get why people think it's so great that everybody's going to get prison health now.
Well, speaking of prison,
I mean, that's kind of covered. No elective surgeries. 4 and 5 years for a knee operation. You're going to be waiting. Right now, if I have insurance, I can go get my knee fixed by the end of the month. You wait until we get the Obama clinic care, prison health care system out there, where there are no doctors. There's like one backwater doctor from India who's got a Fisher Price degree, who's going to be the consultant for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 physician's assistants and nurses, and that's your doctor. You don't even get a real doctor. You're going to get, and I don't have a problem. I mean, I thank the Lord in heaven for nurses, because they've saved a lot, I'm going to guess, as many people as doctors,
Right now, cancer is the closest thing to prison that they have in the medical industry, because they get you in their office, they give you a positive diagnosis, you're their property from that point on, and they will freak. We've had people, Dr. Carpenter's had people come in and talking about, well, I got my diagnosis and I didn't show up for my next step of the process, and they stalk them. Where are you?
You have an appointment.
Yes, they want to put them, Barbara, into receivership, guardianship.
Yes.
As Janet and Barb will tell you. That's their thing.
And you know what? I've heard from patients that they had other problems. They go in. No, they concentrate on the cancer, breast cancer or skin cancer that I treated. I came in for other problems. No, you have cancer, so we have to treat that. I don't need it treated. I'm fine. I did something else. No, you're going to die. And then what they do, they refuse the chemo. Oh, you're in pain. We give you morphine. I don't want morphine. I'm not in pain. What do you mean you're not in pain? You have all of this. You're in pain. No, I'm not in pain, because the tumor is dead. You know what? They can give you morphine and kill you with it, even if you refuse it.
Yeah. They can put you into guardianship or receivership, as Barb, can't they? I mean,
well, I'm not the expert on that.
No, but Janet is, and she's a friend of ours, and yes, they can.
Stories. Yes, I know.
And then when they do that, they get your house, they get your everything.
Yeah.
And if they don't get enough, they get more from your kids.
That's It's false imprisonment is what it amounts to. False imprisonment, wrongful imprisonment.
All right. I hope that people who listen to my show will help me help a friend and get the word out for Dr. Carpenter. If you have it, if you can, support her either financially or just by go visiting their website. First of all, you got to find out, if you don't know what LASIK treatment is you're going to have to go there and do a little bit of research, find out a little bit about it.
It's actually called Leash, but
Leash. Right, I'm sorry.
LASIK's the eye.
Duh. I'm sorry. You're right.
That's cool.
Leash.
It's early. Hey,
that's what I meant. I thought I was being all slick using the right term.
But LaysMedInc.com. Just remember that. Well, we're going to have information up there later today on how you can help and where you can go. The petitions. And people. YouTube.com/user/LaysMedInc. Spread these videos.
And
Get
Dr.
them out
Carpenter,
there.
I love you, and this is breaking my heart.
Me too.
And you know, the worst part about this is on the web, on our website, I'm sure, Barbara, you have seen it. There are pictures of the results that nobody in the standard treatment can show. I mean, people are not caught up. You see that guy with that thing on his nose and disappeared?
Yes, that's disgusting. Oh, my God.
And they are ignoring that. Oh, you don't have any proof that it works. It's just unbelievable. All the picture that I had, that guy that was a mess, and then the maggots are eating it all up. That means it's dead tissue because maggots only eat dead tissue. The evidence is there. They just decide to ignore it. And they raid me for 3 complaints. What about all the others that wrote all the testimonials? Well, you know, we need to double check. Why? Did you double check the complaint?
Well, and you got to remember also that in Dr. Carpenter's deposition, one of the things they kept asking her was, "Oh, you could do something about that radio show if you wanted to." They don't like it. They don't like it a damn bit. That's one of the things, and they can't really do anything legally to her about that.
Well, unless I'm homeless, and then how do I have the radio show?
Right, but they don't like the things that you say. They don't like the videos. They don't like a lot of it. Yeah.
They don't like truth. That's why, or justice.
They don't. They certainly don't. Thank you, guys. Hey, coming up next here at the Orion Talk Radio Network, the Robin Freeland Show. Yes, that's right. You heard it. The Robin Freeland Show is now being simulcast on the Orion Talk Radio Network, at least on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll have to see how it goes. So stay tuned. Dr. Carpenter, Randy, Barb, thank you.
Thank you, JJ. Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's see what we can do to help, guys. Thanks for joining me. I'll see everybody again. Today's Thursday, Sunday, and I'll see you again in like 5 minutes on the Robin Freeland Show.